There it is, folks, fresh in off the grill. That's exactly what we're making right there. Beautiful shish kebabs. Wait till you try this one. Delicious. Tender. Folks, you're going to enjoy this one. Fantastic. Well, hey there. I am busy getting all of my ingredients together. Today I'm going to be making some beef kebabs, and I wanted to do a really, well, a wonderful tasting marinade for you. Something that has a little spice to it, something that has a little sweet to it, and something that has a little tang to it. That'll make this meat absolutely fantastic tasting. So what I'm going to use is a different cut of meat that you would expect for shish kebabs. And I'm doing this to just show it can be done with pretty much anything. Also, I'm going to show you a great marinade right here. I came up with this not long ago. And it's based on some other marinades that I do that I'm, well, very comfortable with. So I feel very comfortable showing you this recipe. Hang on. So I'll tell you what, we'll take a look at all the ingredients as soon as I get the meat out here. And I'll tell you what all we're using, how much, and later on in the show we'll get into that. And also, I do want to mention, please click the subscribe button if you haven't done so already, and click that bell so you get notifications of the new videos. Also, share this video if you would please, and give it a thumbs up. Little things like that really help me in my placement. If you do that kind of stuff, helps to push my videos up. I get better viewership, and it helps me a lot. So do me that favor. Now, come on over. Let me show you what all we got out here. So the ingredients I'm using today, of course, starts with beef. Today I'm going to be using this right here, which is what we up here in the Texas Panhandle call rump roast. Also, folks would refer to this as beef round. Okay, it's from the rear of the cow. Okay, the back leg, and it's a good cut. It's usually fairly lean. This one has some marbling in it, and you could use this. You could use sirloin. You could use tenderloin. You could use any cut of meat you want for this. But remember, some cuts are more tender, and they will also take in marinades faster. So remember, marinating time needs to be adjusted for more tender meat, where a little tougher piece of meat, you could let it marinate longer. All right, now, we've got our beef going on here, and as far as all of our goodies here, let's start with the spices. Onion powder, garlic powder, paprika. And then over here, we have some apple cider vinegar, pineapple juice, orange juice, white wine, and right down here, I've got some soy sauce. Great combination of flavors, folks. This one, man, it just really pops, and you're going to love it. All right, so we've got this. What I have to do is cut up my meat, and I'm going to cut this up a unique way this time. You're going to really like this. This is going to allow meat to go deep into those, it's going to allow the marinade to go deep into the meat and to really penetrate it well to give us great flavor. Okay, so not to mention, there's going to be no vegetables of any kind on these skewers. It's just going to be straight meat. Let's get into this. All right, this is going to be a pretty easy piece to take care of. I've got a little bit of silver skin underneath a thin layer of fat right back here. And I was planning on taking care of that just before I go ahead and cut this up for skewering. So I'm not looking to remove much meat back here. I'm just wanting to get the unneeded portion off of there. All right, now, something I do want to mention. If we look at the meat, we have our grain running this way. Okay, now, how does that work in to what we're doing? Well, I would like to make cross cuts across the grain. And with my grain running like this, Well, it changes the way I was originally going to cut this. I was originally going to cut big blocks this way and then make cross cuts. But then those cross cuts are going to be along the grain. So I'm changing my mind. I'm going to cut blocks this way, and then we will cut our cross cuts from that. Now, what I mean by a block is I want to cut a section of meat that's about the size of my arm, roughly, and then cross cut that to create my pieces for my shish kebabs. Now, it may sound just a little bit anal retentive, but guess what, folks? These are my shish kebabs. I get to make them my way. There, I'll take that first cut, put that there. Now this, I'm just going to make a nice cut like that. Now this one piece I'm going to have to just do some sacrificing on here. But basically, I'm going to have some lengthwise fiber running through these pieces. But pieces about yay big is what I'm really kind of hoping for. And that way, when I go stacking them up on my skewer, I get this beautiful thick run of meat that's all marinated, all right? And that's what I'm looking for. So there we have it. Got the meat cut and ready to go. Now let's work on our marinade. Okie dokie. Now I think I'm kind of pushing my luck on the size of dish that I have to work with here. But frankly, it's one of the larger dishes I had. Otherwise I have to switch to like an enameled roaster pan. But we may make it work. We'll see. Spices. Yes. Now we got something beautiful going on here. Look at that. Let's get our meat right down in there and get it marinating. Oh yeah. That's a lot of beef, isn't it? It's going to be a lot of delicious once it's cooked up. Now there's one other flavor that's going to go into this, and that's going to be my wood that I'm cooking with. That's going to be mesquite wood, okay? And that'll give us a good flavor. That's a beautiful aroma. You know, all those juices and the soy sauce and those spices. I'll tell you what, this is a good one. Delicious. One of the things I'm good at is marinade, okay? A long time ago, I learned certain secrets about marinades, and I don't mind sharing them with you. Number one, oils don't belong in your marinade, okay? I know what you're used to doing and what you think, but oil blocks flavors from penetrating the meat well. So get that out of your marinade and your marinades will do better. Okay, if you noticed, everything I used in this was somewhat acidic, all right? That helps to tenderize that meat, and it helps to also get that flavor deep inside as it's tenderizing, okay? And then we've got those fruity flavors. So we have fruity flavors penetrating, the acids giving it a little bit of a tang, the spices are there, and I guarantee you, this is a delicious way to do beef. Now the other thing that we're going to do is we're going to add in the flavor of mesquite. I generally cook on gas. I don't cook over charcoal. But if you use a smoker tray, you can get that nice smoky, woody flavor. And if you like the flavor of charcoal, well, you can put charcoal in a smoker tray, folks. The nice thing about a gas grill, they heat up quick, they cook even, and it's easy to control the temperature on them, all right? Real easy. Your skewers, you want a nice skewer that's somewhat flat. The idea of a flat skewer keeps the meat from spinning on the skewer. I'll tell you what, from experience, it's irritating when you go to the grill, you pick up your skewer, you want to flip the thing over, and the meat rotates on the skewer as the skewer spins on the inside of it. All right, so then you're having to grab the meat with tongs and turn it over, and some of the meat doesn't, and it gets wonky. It's weird. If you have round skewers, use 2 of them side by side, and that keeps that from happening as much. Otherwise, a nice flat skewer. I've had these since I was a kid. I've been using these skewers a long time. So once you get some good ones, they're going to be forever. Now, I wouldn't mind getting some heavier ones, but something I'm going to avoid buying, and I'll recommend you avoid it too, wooden handles. You put a wooden handle on the charcoal grill, what's going to happen to it? Yep, that's right. You just figured it out. All right, so something with a metal handle on it, okay? You don't want to cook off those handles. And no, they don't stick out of the grill well. The lid doesn't close properly. You don't get good smoking that way. It doesn't work. So just do as I say. Anyway, how long to marinate? That's up to you. At least a couple of hours, okay? On this right here, exactly what I'm doing right here, I'm going to be marinating anywhere from 2 to 4 hours, okay? And it just depends on when I feel like cooking. And when I do, I'll take these beautiful slices, I'll line them up on my skewers. I'm hoping to get 2 or 3 skewers, maybe 3 if I'm lucky. And then we're going to cook them up on that grill and end up with some delicious food. Now, also seasoning the outside, do you have to? You know, but you can. Just season it like you would a steak. All right, got a little wind out here. That's typical in Texas, okay? Now, I've got some wood. Just take some wood of your choice and use a smoker's box if you're using a gas grill. It's a great way of getting all that wonderful smoky flavor. Now, I'm going to use mesquite. It's a very Texas flavor. Mesquite trees grow abundantly here, and they're treacherous. Mesquite trees are thorny and dangerous. The thorns are long, hard, woody, and they will cut you badly. Okay, if you've noticed, I put my smoker tray in the back here, and that way, when I turn on my burners, it will start that smoking, usually after about 15 minutes, which is a perfect preheat time for these nice heavy grates. All right, so that's the way I'm going to be doing that. And I'll be starting this up here in just a little bit. I don't have the shish kebabs ready yet. I'll take care of that now. Okay, now I think it's time to get these things put together. They have been marinating for quite some time, about 4.5 hours now. And I think I've got a wonderful thing going on. So what I'm going to do is pull all of the meat out of the marinade. I'm just going to set it right over here on the sheet pan. I like doing this on a sheet pan because A, it allows me to spread the meat out. B, it catches all the excess marinade juice. And you know, it just kind of makes the process easier. You could use a cutting board with, you know, a juice groove in it, but frankly, I'm going to recommend the sheet pan because it's just a little easier to clean. Do it your way though. It's all right if you wish. So what I'd like to do is just kind of get like items together, and that way I have shish kebabs of, you know, that are kind of uniform. All right, and that's the whole idea there, and that was one of the reasons I wanted to make these cuts of meat very uniform. Okay, on the skewers, I want to take those and just one at a time right through the center do our meat right onto that skewer. Now here's the thing, if I want, I can line this whole thing up, make it one really long kebab, all right? And that's perfectly fine, all right? What we're gonna be doing is grilling this up and making all of these outer edges all cooked up nice and pretty, and it's just gonna make some very delicious food. You know, when it comes to grilling and barbecue, this is a cool thing to do. And watch your fingers when you're going through this meat. You don't want to be skewering yourself, all right? So make sure that skewer is pointed between your fingers and not directly at one of your fingers. If the meat is too hard to go through, kind of work it through there, twist it a little bit and get it worked into place, okay? All right. Looks like I have 3 beautiful shish kebabs here. And oh, those are going to be so delicious. Now, on the outside of this, I'm just going to gently season it with a little bit of salt, some seasoned pepper, and cook it up like I would a nice steak. The only difference is I'm going to be cooking it slightly longer because there's a greater density of meat on each one. Like I said, just like you would do any average steak, do them exactly the same way. The only thing is remember, if you've got a big enough kebab, you've got 4 sides to season. All right? The quantity of everything that we've used today, well, let's start with the beef right here. I started with 3 3/4 pounds of beef. This marinade should easily work for anywhere from 2 to 5 pounds, okay? So make it as much as you want, but figure about 8 to 12 ounce portions per person. That's an easy way to know how much meat to get. Now, over on our spices, I used 2 teaspoons of onion powder, 2 teaspoons of garlic powder, 3 teaspoons of paprika, and on our liquids here, start it right here. This is a 1/2 cup of apple cider vinegar, 1 cup of soy sauce, 1 cup of white wine, 2 cups of orange juice, and 2 cups of pineapple juice. A wonderful combination. Let's take a look at these gorgeous shish kebabs. All right, the grill is heated up. I've reduced the temperature on it to a medium. I usually do that. And while you're not really seeing it much, we're getting plenty of smoke off of this. I've just got a lot of wind hitting it and blowing it away. Now, my shish kebabs, you betcha, right there. Heck yeah. Now, it's just a matter of giving it a little time. I'm thinking about 3 to 4 minutes per side. So, just depending on how deeply you like your meat cooked, you can always use a thermometer to check it, or you can just look in between and it'll give you a good idea. All right, our cooking timer says it's time to turn them. Let's take care of that. Oh yeah. Now I'm going to be cooking on all 4 sides, okay? But right now, I'm just doing a straight flip, just like so. Well, there we have it, all done. Fresh off the grill, and I'm ready to dig in. I've got rosemary potatoes to go with it. I just love it when my meat slices so easy, so tender, nice and pink on the inside. It's just perfect. Okay, first off, delicious. Flat delicious. You're gonna love this. That smokiness comes through, but the marinade, marinade's king. Perfect. Tenderize that meat wonderfully. I can say this is one of those marinades you could let it go for 12 hours. If you wanted to do it overnight or something like that, you could do that. Don't be afraid of it. It's delicious, something you definitely should try, and doing a shish kebab like this, it's just a winner. All right, so give it a try. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe, click that like button, helps me out a lot. Check out the links in the description box, and folks, please enjoy your meat. Mine is delicious. I know you're gonna like yours.